to the Voiceover Round Table. I'm Mike Tobin.
And I'm Emma O'Neill. Every week, we get together to talk about all things voiceover, with a special focus on community.
Bringing you in-depth interviews, roundtable discussions, special performance events, and industry-leading guests.
Let's get started. This is the Voiceover Round Table.
And hello, my co-host, Emma O'Neill.
Oh, hey, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
I'm very, very well. And
We're super excited for this show tonight. So excited. So let's just get started.
Now, whether you're 9 years old or 90 years old, if you watch or have watched any television over the past several, decades, tonight's guest's voice has probably found its way into your ears more than any other voice out there. Take a listen to this.
Tonight, make a resolution to watch TV's #1 comedy,
what's going on out here?
2.5 Men. Tonight, live from Los Angeles, the Recording Academy welcomes you to the 43rd Annual Grammy Awards. Anybody here that's not nervous? Get nervous. Gordon Ramsay and the producers of The Biggest Loser present MasterChef.
Going on, B-minus.
See bone-shadowing action and dangerously hot romance.
No, Peter, that's not your catchphrase.
It all starts this Sunday, 8/7 Central on Fox.
Right? So, as you heard, our guest tonight is the voice of America's most watched TV networks and shows, best known as the comedy voice of the Fox television network for over 25 years. And he's only 12. CBS for 15 years and several years as the drama voice for NBC.
He's been the announcer for the Grammy Awards, the Primetime Emmy Awards, and many other live television events. He's the recipient of the Don LaFontaine Legacy Award, co-founder of the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab at the SAG-AFTRA Foundation in Hollywood.
And he's well known for helping voice actors learn more about promos through his appearances at voice conferences and both online and in-person promo masterclasses.
The Voiceover Roundtable is thrilled to welcome to the show an industry icon and a man who many call the master of promo. Please welcome everyone, Mr. Joe Cipriano.
Wow.
That's all you.
Oh my gosh. And guess what? We have no more time. Good night, everybody. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How are you? Emma, it's good to see you. I just saw you a few weeks ago.
Yes, we had some fun in Los Angeles.
Yes, we did at the Joseph promo masterclass at North
So much
House.
fun. I've actually got my hoodie right here.
Oh, you got your hoodie. Yes.
I know.
Love it.
Totally going to show off. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, man. So thank you very much for having me. How fun. This is great.
Oh, we're delighted that you were able to make it.
And thanks for doing this on such short notice. We're so grateful. It just the stars aligned, and and we're thrilled to have you with us.
But what better than a promo guy on short notice?
We need you now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where are you? Well, I'm in the car. I'll be there in 5 minutes. That's too long.
This will also be good for the promo guy. One thing that we like to do from time to time with our guests is a quick round of rapid fire questions. Nothing too heavy, nothing too scandalous, just easy, quick answer questions. First thing that comes to mind, okay?
No math, right?
Maybe some fraction. No. All right, so I'm going to blast through these really quick before we get to the serious stuff. Okay, ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Let's start with the really polarizing stuff first. I told you it was going to get that. First question. Is it voice space over or voiceover or voice dash over?
Oh my gosh. We've all done it so many different ways. I'm trying to remember in our book, we actually had to decide, and I cannot remember. I think we did dash. I think we might have done voice dash over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to choose?
You know what? I think if I'm typing it out, I normally just do 2 words, voice over.
Nice.
Come to
All
think
right.
of it.
Moving along. Question number 2. Another polarizing topic. Mac or PC?
Mac.
There we go. Question number 3. Moving right along. You see, we just glaze right past. Since we're asking the really important questions, Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
All right.
Coke is too spicy.
Going swimmingly. All right. Here's a little bit of like scenario building, we'll call it. You're announcing at a major televised award show when your manager comes to your booth to tell you that your favorite music artist has asked if you want to hang out after the show. Who would they be talking about?
Oh, wow. They would be talking about Bruno Mars.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bruno looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe that's for another show. We'll keep moving and keep it rapid fire. All right. You're on another scenario build here. You're on a short flight, so like a short haul flight to a work meeting. The flight attendant approaches with a very important question. Coffee, tea, juice, or water? Which will it be?
Coffee on a plane. I mean, I would normally say coffee, but who knows where that water comes from, So I guess I'd have to go for water. Oh, wait a minute. Water out of a bottle.
Yeah. I was going to say water. Yes. Okay. This is a good one. If you had no other choice and you had to pick only one for the remainder of your career,
wow,
the 75 years that remain of it, large condenser microphone or shotgun microphone?
Well, I think I have to stick with the shotgun, the
Yep.
416. Although I have a U87, which I love. Yeah,
Of course.
just depends on what you're working on. If it's promos, it's got to be 416.
There you go. If you had to choose, there it is. 416 shotgun it goes.
And that is polarizing.
Yeah, it is.
Polarizing question.
As opposed to cardioid. Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go with question number 7. We're way off here. Bucket list vacation destination.
A place where I haven't been, or
Yeah,
just
preferably, or your preferred, one of your preferred places can be.
yeah. I would say for a place that I haven't been, bucket list would be Australia. Yeah, and I would go there in January so I could go to the Australian Open tennis tournament.
Oh, tennis fan, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost through our questions. Question number 8. You have an after lunch session booked, because you always do. What food will you be avoiding at all costs at lunch?
Well, anything, but what I would eat would be sushi, something, very light. So I would avoid meatballs and spaghetti, much to my mother's chagrin.
So no big bacon cheeseburger, right?
No lasagna, no bacon cheeseburgers, no.
All right. Number 9, you're traveling to a foreign country and you're informed that a new rule allows you only to bring one device. Do you bring your phone, your tablet, or your laptop?
Phone. Because I figure I can use some sort of a device to record into the phone. Won't need the laptop.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a tablet. So yeah.
There we go. We're down to our last question. This has been great. Everyone in voiceover. So we all have some, and it changes from time to time, but we all have some dream job we'd love to land one day. And we've heard like some really cool stuff that you've done, but what is a bucket list voiceover job for Joe Cipriano?
Well, you know what? A specific job, I was up for it. I did it for 2 weeks. I really, really thought I had a chance at getting it. And it was Wheel of Fortune. And that would have been pretty much a life-changing sort of thing, much like when I got Fox, which changed my life back then as well. That would have been fun. I love game shows. I've done a lot of game shows. I've only done one game show where, you're live announcing on stage. That was Pictionary with Alan Thicke. And so, yeah, doing that would have been a kick. And now that Ryan Seacrest is coming in, who knows? They might make a change.
True.
Very nice.
Very, very cool. We've got loads of comments in the chat. Donovan Cornitz is here. He's like, my buddy Joe, 416, Team 416 all the way.
Donovan and I share a name because when I was in radio in Connecticut for a while, and also for about 3.5 years here in Los Angeles, my name was Dave Donovan on the air.
No way.
So Donovan and I share that. Only his name is real, I think.
or at least that's what we're going to go with for tonight.
Yeah.
Until we drag Donovan up on stage one of these nights. So as we alluded to at the intro at the top of the show, you've had and continue to have an amazing, amazing career in voiceover.
Oh, thank you, Emma.
You wow. So I'm not sure if many people say this to you anymore, but congratulations on all of your
Right,
success.
exactly.
And no, really, we're so grateful that you were able to take the time to be with us tonight. It worked out so well. One of the things I wanted to, because I got to be the ears between you and Jeff Howell while I was in LA listening to stories, and I wanted to bring that back. So,
oh, how fun! I love.
Yes. Right, Jeff.
Yeah,
such a great guy. You were an on-air personality for almost 20 years, but if you think back to the beginning, could you tell us about your first experience in voiceover?
In voiceover, I was in Washington D.C. and I was working for NBC, which is where I met my wife. She was a news writer on the AM. I was a disc jockey on the FM playing disco music.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, you should have had a button. That disco music would have come in right there.
It was hi-hat sizzling.
And the first voiceover, I think might have been a government, because it was Washington, D.C., a government PSA, public service announcement. And I think that might have been the first. If not, it was with an agency called the Denenberg Agency, who started booking me while I was still on the air, doing really cool. It was a great agency. They did great spots. Garfinkel's department store, Woodward and Lothrop, car dealerships. Later in life, 30-something years later, I learned that Elliot Denenberg, who hired me for those jobs, my first jobs, is Lori Allen's dad.
No way.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Oh, that's
I
so
could
funny.
not believe it. When that came out, I was like, that was just...
What a small world. That's wild.
I know. Nuts. Just nuts. But yeah, good question. And from there, I got the bug. I didn't really know what voiceover was that much. When you're on the air, you're recording spots all the time or reading them live, but you're reading that as an air personality, and you're just whipping through them. And that's when I started doing that, became aware of those big network voices on the networks back then, like Danny Dark and Ernie Anderson. And I thought, wow, that would be fun. I want to do that.
I love it. Joe, your career has now spanned several decades, and you've seen, and I'm sure you've been a part of, a lot of changes in our industry over the years, I'd imagine. So what would you say some of the big mile markers that, looking back now, you go, yeah, that was a big deal?
Yeah, well, technically, if there are two ways we can look at it. The advent of ISDN pretty much changed everything, especially for people who were doing promos like me, and working at the networks, and you really couldn't take a couple of weeks off. And so
if you could remind our guests, what year did ISDN come in?
1992.
There we go.
Is when it came up, and I think I got box number 2 that came off the line from Telos, and I talked Fox first into getting one, and the head of operations said, "I don't know, if we go down this road, you're never going to come in again." And I said, "Oh no, it's not going to be like that."
And now,
what I really wanted it for is, I was the voice of all the comedy. So we'd start about 1:00 in the afternoon, and it would be on and off and on and off all day long. I would drive home for dinner to be with the family, and that was in my schedule every night. It was booked out that I could be home by 6:30 to Pacific Palisades from Hollywood, which was about a 35-minute drive, have dinner, and then be back to Fox by around 8, something like that, to finish up. And it could go till midnight. And I thought, well, if I could just do it from home, that would save that whole late night thing. So that was a big thing. The other big change was online casting and how that changed our world. I lived in a SAG-AFTRA world, and there really never even was aware of non-union work. And it took me a while to understand it. And, from going to conferences and all, I totally understand it. And it's pretty much taken over. And thankfully, at first, non-union work was kind of looked down upon, and the rates were not great. And that's all changed. NAVA and WOVO and, all these different groups that were together to support actors, voice actors. The number one thing that they would say, and I would always say, is, don't cheapen yourself, don't undercut yourself.
Yep.
Know your worth and charge a rate that you're worthy of.
Absolutely. And speaking of NAVA, today is the last day to get the 125 for the year. They're increasing their rate as of midnight this evening. So that's a shameless plug. We had Tim Friedlander on.
Yes.
And isn't it their anniversary too?
It is.
It is.
Their 1 year anniversary.
It feels like I've been around forever.
Yeah.
Doing so much.
And they've been up
work.
on Capitol Hill,
Yeah.
lobby. It's just the stuff that they are doing. It's
I
incredible.
was just with Tim at MAVO in Washington, D.C. this past weekend. And I caught up. I sat in on their hour talk about AI, and oh my God, it's overwhelming. It's incredible, but so great to see them.
Now, Joe, you mentioned you could look at the last question with kind of two sets of lenses. You talked a little bit about the technical stuff. What was the other area you wanted to share?
It would be the advent of non-union coming on. Yeah,
perfect.
For sure. I think that was a huge change. Yeah.
Yep. Well, speaking of people making history like Nava with Tim and Karn making history, one of the big things that stands out in your resume, one of the big things, really, but in 2009, you co-founded the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. And in fact, we have big news going on with that right now. And I'm going to the SAG Foundation after our chat here today. We're meeting with the advisory board, and we're going to tour them around the brand new Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab at the SAG Foundation, SAG-AFTRA Foundation in Hollywood, which is now going to be inside the brand new, which is being built right now, the Meryl Streep Actors Center.
Wow.
She donated at least $1 million and most likely more. And Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson also match that. And their name is going on the screening room where we'll present, interviews with stars from movies and all sorts of stuff that we do with the SAG Foundation. But back then, Don had passed 2008, and Paul Pape was a very close friend. I knew Don very well. We worked together every single day at Fox. He was the drama voice, and I was the comedy voice, and we did that for 20-something years. And then he was also at CBS doing dramas. I was doing all the comedies at CBS. And when he passed, it was a huge shock. And Paul said, we've got to do something. And we tried a few different ideas, but he actually came up with the idea of a voiceover lab where talent could come in free of charge in state-of-the-art studios and be able to learn the craft. And also working actors could come in and use the studios for auditions and work. We had ISDN installed. We had every microphone in existence, and we still do. So that was an incredible, rewarding effort. We had to raise money to do it. And the SAG Foundation immediately said, this is a great idea. We have an Actors Center, and we would love to add this voiceover lab to it. But you're going to have to go out and bring in about $50,000, and we'll match it, and then we'll start from there. And that was on Friday. So I started making some phone calls on Saturday to all of the promo people who worked in the industry and knew Don. And I said, we need to get, $50,000. And everybody ponied up $5,000. And within a day, I had $75,000. And we went Monday to the foundation, and they were shocked. And they said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we're a go. We're big time, yeah." So it was amazing.
They got the money.
That's right.
awesome.
They were shocked.
That's beautiful.
They were shocked. And I will say one more thing. When we would do the fundraisers along the way, and we did them at my house and we did them at different venues, but we would do a poker tournament, and people would pay to come in, and then the money raised during the poker tournament all went towards building the lab. And I'll never forget the first day, the first event that was at my house, and I was sitting with the executive director of the foundation, and we were sitting in my living room, front of the house, and right before it began, there was just a stream of people coming in. We had 300 people that came in to support this, and she was just blown away. She says, "I have never seen support like this in the on-camera community, in the theatrical community." And I said, "Well, welcome to VoiceOver, because this community is the most supportive, and we're always there for one another." So she was quite amazed.
Whole lot of love.
So, yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question. I debated whether I would ask this question, but I'm going to put it in. What did Don LaFontaine mean to you, Joe?
Well, he there weren't many voiceover talent like Don who worked. Let's just look at networks. He worked at every network. So I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, he was just that good. And if you went to see a movie, he was on. If there were 6 trailers, he was on 5 of them.
Yeah.
And so the amount of work that he did was just unbelievable. And to be able to be friends with him and work with him every single day for years and years and years was just remarkable. And I had something happen to me. I was working at Fox and CBS, which, again, ridiculous. I was doing all the comedies at Fox and all the comedies at CBS. And I'll explain that at some point, but it was all because of relationships, which is probably the most important thing you can that will enrich your career, is nurturing and creating and nurturing relationships. But in any case, I lost CBS suddenly. It just went away. And that was more than half of my income at the time. And I was really stunned, that had happened. And Don and I were going to New York for the launch of Joan Baker's book, Secrets of Voiceover Success.
Right. Yep.
And he said, "Hey, Joey, come up to my hotel." And so I went up, and it was just him and me. And he said, "Listen, you're too good to not work." He said, I want you to think about something. He said, "You're sitting here and you're chatting with me right now, and you're using an entirely different voice than what you work under. You're doing comedies and you're way up here." He said, you have a rich voice, and you really need to explore that voice." And I thought, well, okay, yeah. And within a week or two, a friend of mine, George DeLoyo, who's a voiceover talent, we were at an event, and he said, "Hey, did you read for the NBC gig?" And I said, "What? No, I don't know anything about it." He goes, "Yeah, they're looking for a drama voice." And I thought, okay. I thought what Don had said, and I went and I created a drama demo. I had never done drama. I was always a comedy guy. And I came up with this voice, and I wrote it, and I produced it in my studio, and I sent it to Rita Venari, my agent. And I at first said, "Hey, I want to be up for that drama gig at NBC, and she actually kind of laughed when I
She actually laughed out loud.
yeah. So that was awe-inspiring, and so I sent her the demo, and she was shocked. And anybody who heard the demo and knew me would not believe that it was me. And submitted the demo, and lo and behold, a few weeks later, they said, "Hey, thanks for the demos, Rita. We think we want to start using Joe." And I became the drama voice of NBC for 3 years. So, yeah, it was unbelievable. And then when NBC made a change, and then I was out by then, CBS called up and said, "Hey, we want you back." And I came back and I did all the comedies at CBS again while I was still at Fox too. So crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Stars align.
So a little bit of guidance from Don.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Without him saying, explore all your voices, explore this voice that you're using right now, I would have never in a million years thought of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. There's a comment. There's a million comments, but Kat Peters is saying, my commercial coach is encouraging me to use my natural lower register, as many coaches before had told me my lower register would never book. Hi, are you listening to my voice right now? I love when good coaches and mentors encourage unique sounds like that.
Absolutely. And follow that for sure. It's so important to, and I learned after I lost CBS, to diversify and work in as many genres as you possibly can, and use all of your voices in all of these different genres. It opens you up creatively, and financially you have income streams that are coming in, with all of these different genres, if you're lucky enough to, have some success in it. And it doesn't hurt as much when you lose a gig,
Yeah.
It's it's so weird when this happens, and we love when this happens, because it's almost like we gave you the questions, but we didn't. Joe, we did not give you the questions. You don't
no, you did not give the questions.
But I'm looking at this, and you're just like teeing it up. I'm like, all right, here we go.
I had them 5 minutes before the show. I was reading them as we were promoting.
I guard them very, very.
He does.
But talking about working in multiple genres, and we know that you play in so many of the different genres in voiceover, including commercial and political and live announce, but you're probably best known for promo. So let's dive deep there, and tell us a bit about what working in promo looks like for you in 2023, and then maybe what someone setting a goal of working in promo should expect.
Yeah. I always stay away when you start talking about radio, and because I was in radio, and if you're around people that were in radio and are no longer, they always go into that, well, back in my day, now that was radio, and with promos, just honestly, it has changed in that here I've been talking about, luckily being the comedy voice of a couple of networks, and then a drama voice. That's just not done anymore. And so the realistically, if you are pursuing and working in promos, you know that, okay, I might get a couple of shows over here, and I might get another show over here at a cable network, or maybe I'm doing a show or two at a streamer, but the multiples are kind of gone. And even in movie trailers, where we were talking about Don being on 5 of the 6 trailers, most trailers don't have VO on them anymore. And so, that's just a current trend, and it has been a trend for quite a while. So I think just being realistic about that, and also being smart. I mean, you really have to be a student of the art and know, for example, if you want to be a network promo voice, well, you should know who's working at ABC, who's working at NBC and CBS and Fox, HBO, Showtime, who are they booking? There is probably a thread that goes through those voices, that there's a certain sound that they're looking for. And you have to be aware of that. And like I said, being a student of the art, knowing what the heck is going on. And I read the trades every day. I've gotten gigs because I read the trades every morning, and I'll see something like, this show has been greenlit and it's coming to this network. And they mentioned the executive producer, and I'm like, I worked with that executive producer 3 years ago. And then I email my agent or call my agent and say, hey, Scott St. John might be involved with this new, whatever. Do you think can we get out to him and see if they're going to be using an in-show voice? So yeah, I mean, that would be it, is you really have to be aware, and you really have to work it. Never give up. Be the most persistent person in the room, and have a.
Oh,
we lost
cut out
you.
for a second there.
Am I still with you?
You are. You're back. Yes.
Now you are.
Back.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the last thought that you
It was never give up.
Never give up, and have a positive attitude throughout it all. It's easy to get down on yourself, but it's kind of silly to say take things personally. But I mean, you just have to know. I believe that I can do this. I still believe. I've been doing this for 30 something years, and I still believe that I can do it.
I love that. And again, because, we're just following along on our merry way. But I wanted to, as you're saying, you have to be a student of the art, which is a perfect segue into you are launching tomorrow.
Oh.
I know. And we might have a giveaway.
Yes, we may.
We might. But you have to stick around to find out. And you're going to have to answer a question that I've come up with in my head, and I haven't shared it with anybody. Yes. Joe, tell us about what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's multi-layered, and what it means to me also is multi-layered, and maybe I can get into that without being too long-winded. But they're online courses, and like you said, Emma, and my guy, I'm promo. That's what I do. I do other things, obviously, but I love promo the most. Most of my work is in promo. And so I launched these online promo classes. One is an intro to promos, and the other is a promo masterclass, which, Emma, you're very well.
I did it.
About that. Yes.
In front of people. It was terrifying. But so good. So good.
The cool thing about this is it's the technology of it. It's very unique. It's an online course. It's an online booklet that you come into, and the way we communicate within this booklet is so incredible. Audio and video and texting, if you like, all done within the book. And it's actually a page turn book, digital page turns. Videos of me on every page, setting up what we're doing right now. In the intro to promos, we work on about 10 scripts, and that's a go at your own pace. Could take 2 weeks. You do it in your own studio or your living room, wherever you want to do it. And I'm there with you every step of the way. So you have an assignment. We talk about it through this unique way of communicating. They call it asynchronous. We're not really live, but we're live within, a few hours or a day or so of one another, and sharing thoughts and experiences and all of that. So you'll do the read, you'll upload it. It's your choice. You can do it via audio or video. And I get it, once it's uploaded, I get a notification that says Emma just uploaded on the masterclass course. I'll go in, there it is. I'll listen to it or watch it, whatever. And then I'm able to put up audio or video of me talking about the read and some direction and thoughts. And it's just really interactive. It's so immersive and it's pretty intense, you know. So it's really been interesting to develop it. It literally took 10 months to get it to the point where we're launching it tomorrow. And I've had students that have done it in beta so that we know that it works, find out if there were any issues, and luckily there weren't.
Nice.
It's so very interesting. There is nothing like it, and it's very exciting. It's really cool.
So at this point, is it okay for me to share actually the two links that I have are your masterclass and private sessions. Do we have a link for this new program?
Yeah. Let's see. The best way, you could go to promomasterclass.com. That's kind of like a clearing center where there is the online class, there's information about that, and a link to the online class. There's also the in-person class that Emma was in, and information about that. There's also, I do 3-hour live online on Zoom, and I also do free classes on StreamYard that I simulcast over all socials. So it's at the same time on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and I do that about 4 times a year. And it's just, it's a free class for an hour where we can, I have people come up, we read promos. Emma knows the 3 different styles of sessions. I cover all of those, and including reading to picture, which is the network way of doing it. So yeah, Promo Masterclass would be a good place to go as kind of a hub, Perfect. And then you would see the online class link there and information. There are also videos showing how this interactive kind of booklet works.
Right. And so is the new offering up there now? That's my question. And
it is
about to go.
Yeah. And the link to that actually takes you to Eventbrite, where the information of the class and one of the videos is. If you follow me on any socials, we've been promoting it, and we have other videos that are just quick videos to kind of show how it works without getting too in depth. But you know what? The thing that I was going to say about being multi-layered, this sounds weird for me. I have so much confidence in what I do in promo, and if it's radio imaging or if it's a live announce or some game shows, in-show announcing, and I've never had a lack of confidence, and I think confidence is the tipping point in success. Yeah. But I always lacked confidence in teaching, and I never felt comfortable directing talent because I was kind of a self-directing talent, still am. I just look at a script, and Don LaFontaine was the same way. You look at a script and you just know what's needed. And of course, you're going to get direction from, either the room producer or whoever is directing, the session. But I make pretty quick decisions on what needs to be done. And then music is so very important. If we're reading to a spot and the music is in it, then you know exactly what you're doing.
Yep.
So I was very timid about teaching. I would do it, and I would do it at conferences, and I would kind of sweat my way through it. In this past New Year's, my wife Ann and I, were with friends in Orlando at their house Christmas Eve. And Christmas morning, I woke up and I was on Instagram, and I follow The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And he put up a posting on New Year's Day where he said that he has a saying that he keeps on his desk, and he always looks at it, and it's one day or day one. and he said, we all have goals, and it's New Year's Day, and this is the time to prioritize all the things that you want to do. And you can sort them out with one day, or find the ones or the one that's day one. Day one.
Nice.
And I thought about that, and I thought, doggone it, I have had this issue with teaching for so long. I am not going to be timid about this anymore. This is day one. I'm going to write a syllabus. I'm going to study what you should do as a teacher. And that was this past January. And then within a month, I found this online situation, a website where you can do this really unique online teaching, and jumped into it. And it took, like I said, 10 months to develop it. And I just was so happy that I finally said, okay, this is it. This is day one. I am not going to do this anymore. I'm going to feel confident in doing it, and I'm going to actually help people and do something, that'll be good for people's careers. So, yeah.
I can speak from experience. You're a natural.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
no, honestly, like it's true. Some people are teachers and some people are not. Like my father was not a teacher. Like it was one of those, oh my good God, that man. Like if you asked him how to spell something, he'd tell you to look it up in the dictionary. And you're like, if I knew how to spell it, I would look it up in the if I knew what the first three words were. Whereas my mother was a natural born teacher, and she taught dance and she taught all sorts of stuff. So it's true that you can be a natural born teacher, but questioning it is one thing, but when you follow through on it, you're a natural at it.
Oh, thank you, Emma. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know what to say, but thank you.
You are so very welcome. It's the truth. Before we do our giveaway with the question that nobody knows about except the one that I came up in my head, I'm going to go through. Like, I think they should do that thing that we do in the middle while I get lost in the chat, and then there's
do that
a
thing.
silence.
Let's try that thing. This is the thing where I come in and I say, if you joined us partway through the live show this evening, this is the Voiceover Round Table here on Clubhouse Live every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m., 4:30 Pacific, where we talk about all things voiceover with a special focus on community, bringing you in-depth interviews, roundtable discussions, special performance events, and industry-leading guests.
And tonight, our special guest is Joe Cipriano.
That was a perfect promo. Perfect.
I like it. I like it.
Emma comes in with the tag tonight. Yes.
I learned from the best. And speaking of someone who's learned from the best, we have Max Goldberg in the audience, and he's asking, isn't it lovely? Max was with us in Los Angeles. Does Joe feel that most network promo editing is handled in-house, or are there some post houses that also cast network promo work?
Okay. Great question. Yes, for the most part, in-house. They have their own creative teams, the head of on-air marketing, and then that funnels down to a stable of writer producers who are hired from vendors or from networks. And again, relationships come in on that because there's a lot of moving around. And if you're the voice of a show, that they usually assign one writer producer to a show, and they may do that show for the entire run. Like Everybody Loves Raymond, I did with Dan Greenberger for however many years, that ran. Same thing for King of Queens and, 2.5 Men and, all those other shows. So that's where it's mostly happening. But then there are the individual vendors. And Emma, you met Brett Wynn.
I did. I've been connected for a long time. He's lovely.
Yes, he's the partner of a vendor, an AV vendor that does creative for movies, TV, cables, streaming, all of that. A lot of the networks, cables, and so forth will, maybe during sweeps, go to a company like Brett's and try to get a fresh look at, maybe they have a show, either they're launching a show and they want something really, really special. and their people that are working in-house are overwhelmed with their own stuff. And so they'll go to the vendor and oftentimes come up with some really amazing, ideas because they're also working in the movie world, in the trailer world.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of that as well. There are a lot of vendors all around Los Angeles and around the country, but really so many in LA that specialize in doing creative for movies and TV. So to answer your question, Max, most of it is at the networks, but there's plenty sprinkled around among the vendors.
Very, very cool. There's not a ton of questions. People are being funny. Steve Snyder is saying, where is it? Hey, beautiful people. I wish I had a question for Joe Cipriano, but his voice always entrances me, leaving my tiny blonde brain in a frozen, stunned condition.
That's funny. Oh gosh,
Emma, do we do more questions, or do you have the magic?
I have the. I feel like we should do the magic because we don't need to. Yeah, let's do the magic. Joe, what would be the giveaway item this evening? For one lucky winner
Behind door number 1.
The online course that we were talking about. I think I decided that maybe the intro to promos would be best because the promo masterclass, much like the class that you took, Emma, requires, a demo. Doesn't have to be a promo demo, but to send that in to be accepted into the class. Also, doing the intro to promos will move you on into the masterclass as well. But I'm thinking we'll give away the intro to promos online course. Go at your own pace. I'm with you the whole way. And that is a value of $250. And I would love to give that to some lucky Clubhouse Voiceover Round Table person.
So my question is to the audience.
Wait, but before you ask the question, how are we going to, is it going to be like the first one to put in the chat?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fast.
Rapid fire.
It's going to be fast.
Oh, wow.
Are you ready?
Here we go.
Ali.
In what year was the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab founded? Oh my God, it's like...
Whoa.
No.
And Annie, you won.
All right.
Annie won. The answers were so great. 1992, 2007, 1492, 1986, 1995, 2008, 1972.
Is that Annie Ford?
Yes.
Hi, Annie. Congratulations.
Let's see if we can bring Annie up on stage.
Come on up here, Annie.
Absolutely.
Let's try and
jump on up here. Be careful. The stairs are a little slippery.
There she is.
Am I looking or are you looking? You got her?
She's
There we go.
There she is.
There's Annie.
Bonsoir, Annie Blood. Bonsoir.
Hello. Thank you so much, Joe. This is so exciting.
Oh, very good. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think you'll really enjoy it. I mean, you and I will work on about 10 scripts together over the course of whatever, could be 2 weeks. The cool thing about this also is, and Emma, when you do, I just did at Mavo in Washington, D.C., a 3-hour class where throughout the class and all that we were doing, everybody in the class, who were 12 people, they only got up once on mic to read.
Yeah.
And in this, you're reading everything. You're doing 10 scripts in all genres of promos and being directed by me, discussions between the two of us. Other people that are taking the course, I can also open it up so that if you do a read, Annie, that I think the rest of the class should hear, I can open it up to the class and then have a little attaboy or attagirl type.
Love it.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
No, I think it is really, really cool because the live is amazing and the experience is fantastic, but it's true. You're not reading as often because you've got to accommodate everybody who's there.
Yes.
So this is really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. It really is. You get a lot of bang for the buck. Let's put it that way.
It's an exciting format.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Annie Plurd.
Randy Thomas was the second person to get it right, just so that...
Well, yes. Well, Randy was there. Yeah. Randy was one of those people that I called at the time she was living in Florida. And called her, and she was on it right away, along with Scott Rummel and Stu Herrera and Reno Romano and Tony Rogers and Jim Tasker and so many others that are on our advisory board.
I love it.
I think Randy would have fallen within that disclaimer group of people. Like if you are a partner of, family member of, involved in, may not claim a prize. And
could you imagine Randy winning that, coming in and
something like Randy? You got to put that one back in the hat.
Holy cow!
Goes.
She would actually, knowing Randy, I would give her directions. She would say, no, that's not the way I would do it.
Would be a lively class.
It would be very lively.
100%.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations, Annie, for taking home the prize tonight. If you're listening on a replay, the prize is gone. Don't write anywhere. Don't blow up Emma's email inbox.
But
the
prize may be gone, but the class is still there. You can still sign up for it.
Absolutely. Great and great value, as you said, Joe, like to be able to get that feedback and the opportunity to do many reads and things like that. I think that's where all the value.
I'm very excited by it. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations, Annie. Hope you enjoy the class. And Annie is a regular here listening, so we will definitely look forward to hearing your feedback and your experience when you come back and share with us.
Thank you.
That'd be cool. Gosh. Yeah. Jeez. I hope she likes it. Oh, good. Yeah.
D. Albus wants to know what the cost is for the master class and how often do you take applicants?
Now, the in-person master class that Emma did is quite an undertaking, and I could use an undertaker after it's done. I do like to do things big, and
oh, dude. I tried to get into the theater to see what was going on, and he blocks it. He's like, no, absolutely not. You're not allowed to enter the building. I was like, what is happening? And then they were like, okay, so all 12 participants come into the room at the same time. And we all walk in. None of us could speak.
Okay, so don't ruin the surprise for someone.
We were just like, what?
No, it's okay. It's okay, Mike. Yeah. I think one of the things I really put a lot of effort into the gift bag, and Emma walked away with a NT1 5th generation mic and a number of other things, and that wonderful zip up that she has with her there, which
I have
been handy
because it's winter in Canada.
So
and the venue was very important to me. I'm a member of the venue, which is called Noya House. It's on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, 6121 Sunset, and it was the old CBS radio built in 1938, and it was the first building in America built for broadcast. And all of the CBS shows were done from there. I mean, the old shows from 38 on, 40s, 50s.
Ball.
Jack Benny and Lucille Ball. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And what I told Emma and everybody in the room, I worked in that building when, by the way, I was Dave Donovan when
he was Dave Donovan
at the CBS FM. Which was up on the 4th floor. And so it's so cool to go back to the building. It was totally renovated, but they kept everything. The elevators are the same. The Art Deco styling of the building, the floors, the ceilings. I mean, everything. It's just all beautiful, and it's kept in that 1938 state, but as if it's brand new. And by the way, the folks from Noya House, they knew that I had worked in the building, and they snuck me up on Friday before the party, Emma, and I got to go up to the 4th floor and show them, because they were really interested. They wanted to know where the studios were,
right? And
I showed them where the studios were, and I actually had a video from an interview that was done with me in the studio. It was for Beverly Hills High School, had done the video. And while we're standing in the place and I'm showing them this was here, right here. And they were like, oh my God.
Love it.
It was very cool.
I love that. Love that. Do you think he was referring to the online?
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Online class.
Yeah. The online is ongoing. It's 24/7. And
Okay, so it's joined as you arrive kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody is in their own pace. So when I said that I would bring in, do a public amongst the class, there might be some people that are on page 5 and some people are on page 40,
Right.
But so it's a really interesting community. They're all over the place. So yeah, that is ongoing constantly, and you can sign up at any time.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
And for those who do crave the live big experience, TBA, like to be announced at another day.
It'll be next year.
Still needs to recover from this one.
Right. So typically like a once a year kind of event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Really, so much. I think we started talking about doing it, and actually on social media, I may have started in June and it was September 30th. So, it's like I said, there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of people that take part. Denise Chamberlain was the event planner, and she's my assistant. She's my, partner in doing all of that. Her husband came. They actually, they flew in and they drove back to Florida, which was crazy. And AJ McKay ran, all the live equipment. We had great volunteers, and of course Brett Wynn, David Alden, JJ Jurgens, and myself doing the teaching. It was fun. We had a blast.
Yeah.
And there was food.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you, Chuck and Stacy, for feeding us.
Oh my God. Thank you.
I love it.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Emma.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be a bucket list goal for some people listening tonight or listening on the replays who are interested in getting into promo. But in the meantime, a wonderful offering launching tomorrow. You can find out about it more on promomasterclass.com. Joe Cipriano launching some awesome offerings for people interested in getting into the promo side of voiceover. Can't think of a better way to do it, because it can seem like a very far to reach kind of goal, very out there, and I think this is an interesting opening door for people who want to taste.
For this one, I'd never done it before. I invited agents that I know very well, and also managers, and like Celia was a sponsor, in fact. And we had 3 so far that have been signed, which is Eddie Garver went with SBV. SBV was there, and they really liked him, and that's a interesting process to go through, because the agent who was there goes back and talks to the other agents and said, I had this talent that I think we all need to listen to. So that was really cool. And let's see, Leslie signed with RSA, and Heather signed with Celia. And get this, Mike, she had her first audition, she booked it. So
we wish it happens.
So
we love
that's
it.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Folks, Joe, that is our time for tonight. We're going to be try and be respectful of Joe's time. You got an event to get to. We're so grateful that you could be with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. This went by so quickly. I know. Thank you so much. It's so much fun.
We'll have you back whenever you want, okay?
All right.
We'll have you back whenever you want.
Hey, I just saw David Alden pop up on the screen. How about that? It said David Alden added you, so he must be lurking out there somewhere.
Oh, he's lurking around. He's lurking around.
Talk about a great voiceover coach.
Oh, he's solid. Yeah. Some amazing prompts and feedback from him.
He is. Yeah, he's directed just so many great promo talent at CBS over the years. many, many years.
He was a pleasure. Okay, so because I know you have to get out of here, we are going to thank everybody for being here. We're going to thank you again for your time, for your expertise, and for the generous prize that Annie won this evening. Congratulations again, Annie. I will make sure that Joe has your email. I'll
need her email. Yes.
I will connect the two of you, so don't worry about that. You will be good. And
watch how this plays out. Emma, what's going on next week?
well, it just so happens that one of our audience members this evening, Miss Randy Thomas, is our guest next week. Oof, the queen.
You know what?
of voiceover.
Back-to-back blockbuster.
Yeah, no, I think you ought to come up with different questions, though. Don't. She was here doing a study. She wanted
to leave it to Chat GPT.
Yes.
Oh man, Joe, that was so much fun. We look forward to Randy next week. If you've enjoyed the show, folks, and would like to catch more of the Voiceover Roundtable, please check us out wherever you get your podcasts or go directly to our website at VORoundtable.com.
Because we're fancy, we have a website now.
We hope that you'll join us live next week, Tuesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, live here on Clubhouse for the Voiceover Roundtable. Until then, we'll hear you then.